We're shaking people, back with another reaction, back with some more George Kranz, and we're going back to his Sticky Druisin album, though as I was talking about the Han Solo, we will go back and do the earlier album after that. So the next tune we're going to listen to is Free Them. To liberate something, to free it from some set of conditions or the control of another, or perhaps another situation, meaning not a single agent dominating or restricting them, but perhaps many or an entire society. So I wonder who is being freed and their identity relative to whatever is preventing them from behaving or moving in the way they wish. Ultimately, you know, whatever the lyrics are, this is only part of the story. As we know, George Kranz certainly during phases of his career that I've been made aware of, either, you know, through the albums that have been shared with me, which again, we're still like less than halfway through, but also a couple videos that I've seen, courtesy of Han Solo. Yeah, we know some vocal work of a non-typical or expanded nature, meaning vocals in places where instruments usually do the job. We are likely to hear something to that effect. It certainly seems like the majority of his work is pushing new ground vocally, which I realize in some respects could be referred to as gimmicky, or, you know, he's like a niche artist. But it's weird because, you know, if you try to do new things with synths, if you try to do new things the way you record things, sometimes like so innovative, like, you know, such a pioneer when it comes to these things. So, you know, I think it's fair to attach those kind of labels: pioneer, innovator, someone really trying to push vocal work to areas where it's not typically used. So even though his work, you know, like I make, you know, comparisons to someone like you know, William Shatner or, you know, Leonard Nimoy and whatever, in part because Han Solo has brought all these things to me for reactions, but also because, you know, there's a sense of he's on the, like, very much off the beaten path. But that's not just in a weird sense, right? Like, I do think there's some genuine innovation just to the vocal arrangement, or arrangements plural, that I've already heard. So let's find who's being freed and what it's all about. This is George Kranz. The track is Free Them, and it's from the 1995 album Sticky Druisin. Or it would be if... Okay.
Free them, got to free them, free, we've got to free them.
Straight out of the gate, it has some like African music vibes. A little vocal bass line.
Their minds not in the trend. Heavy politicians on their shoulders. So free these fighters as they're fighting for freedom.
Whoa.
Oh yes, we got freedom. We got to free them. Free them. Free them. Free them. We got to free them. Free them.
Free them, but said come on,
Free
them.
them.
Crazy too.
All we say is out, out.
Okay, definitely some African musical vibes, but it sounds like the idea of freedom fighters, that's, you know, they show up in regions around the world in different contexts.
Drums are the tongues of the news. They've got the power.
There's a bit of like David Sylvian to that delivery right there.
Are uniting the nations. We'll making no need, no need. Free these fighters, 'cause they're fighting for freedom. You gotta have faith, these
Gotta have faith.
fighters, 'cause they're fighting for you. Free these fighters, 'cause they're fighting for freedom. You gotta have faith. Free these fighters, 'cause they're fighting for you.
The snare's got a real pop to it. What was that? If someone whispered something to me like,
Freedom, freaky them, freaky, freaky them, freedom, freaky them, freaky, freaky them. Freedom, freaky them, freaky, freaky them. Freedom, freaky them, freaky, freaky them.
it's less of an anomaly than several of his other tunes that I've heard. It's got the vocal arrangement thing, but yeah, it felt like more of a straightaway track. Again, we had multiple vocal only bass lines, including those really long ones that were, sort of lighter and melodic, extended to such that, it was vocally impressive, the breath control you'd have to have. And then, the deeper, more rhythmic one, the like, boom, boom. So yeah, there was what I've come to know and expect from him, but again, there were like proper drums, both like hand drums and, either a drum machine, which is what I expect, or, like recorded drums with some real pop to them. And some backing vocals. Again, definitely some like African musical vibes, those backing vocals and some of the drum rhythms. So yeah, all it was missing was, sort of that like full on like electric keyboard sound that you might hear in a tune like that. So again, it sounds like the lyrics are more general, and there might be some figurative work at play, like freedom fighters for you, and it's like that could be more literal, but it could be about, like finding your way to like, freedom on a personal level, and, the people looking out for you could be your freedom fighters. But it did feel like maybe it's, the more political military context of that as well. So I'm not quite sure what's happening, but yeah, vocally, it was what I've come to know from him, but maybe less so than some of the other tracks where, every element, save for maybe like one snare drum, was done with vocals, whereas here it was like more targeted, it felt like. So yeah, curious to hear what people have to say, Mr. Solo and others, people who happen to comment. And yeah, again, like as much as it's like an interesting and bizarre journey, I am appreciating more as we go through more of this album, and eventually as we get to another album, no doubt, including, Han Solo I think was saying like, maybe, I'm not sure if he was saying that he prefers the earlier one, just that, it would have been cooler if I had started with that one first. It was sort of, arbitrary, but yeah, now that we've gone through so many, I figure we'll finish this off. But either way, I am looking forward to that, and I am appreciating more, that he is an artist that perhaps deserves more attention and credit for, really pushing the bounds of vocal work. So shout out to him, shout out to Han Solo. Do let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.